They say the dogfight is dead. They say missiles killed it decades ago. But if the skies are silent, why do we still build fighters designed to kill with a knife?
The modern philosophy is BVR, beyond visual range. The goal is to detect, lock, and kill the enemy before they even know you are there. Advanced radars and active radar homing missiles like the AMRAAM allow engagements at distances exceeding 100 nautical miles. But technology is a double-edged sword. Electronic warfare and heavy jamming can blind these long-range sensors, turning smart missiles into dumb rockets.
Then there is stealth. When two stealth fighters meet, their low radar signatures drastically reduce detection ranges, forcing them closer together.
Rules of engagement often require visual identification to prevent friendly fire, forcing pilots to close the distance despite their long-range weapons.
This leads to the merge, the moment two opposed fighters pass each other within visual range, and the tactical geometry shifts instantly.
In a one-circle fight, both aircraft turn towards each other. It becomes a radius fight. Whoever can turn tightest inside the circle wins the shot. In a two-circle fight, both turn away or chase. This is a rate fight. Whoever can sustain the highest turn rate gains the advantage.
Energy management is the currency of the dogfight. Energy is life.
Post-stall maneuvers, like the Pugachev's Cobra, allow a pilot to point the nose at a target without changing flight path, but they kill airspeed instantly. Thrust vectoring gives aircraft like the F-22 Raptor super maneuverability, allowing them to defy traditional aerodynamics and recover from stalls. But the game has changed. The introduction of High Off-Boresight missiles means you no longer need to be behind the enemy to kill them. Helmet-mounted cueing systems allow a pilot to look at a target over their shoulder, lock on, and fire. Look and shoot is the new reality. Missiles like the AM-9X or the Russian R-73 can turn 90 degrees or more immediately after launch, making the zone of death much larger. This creates a dangerous scenario, the mutual kill. Both pilots can fire at each other simultaneously from bad angles. Defeating these missiles requires more than just turning. It requires advanced infrared countermeasures, flares, and blinding lasers. Gorgeous. The F-16 was the king of the rate fight, a small, high-G turner. The F-35 is different. It flies like a muscle. The F-35 prefers to slow down, point its nose, fire a missile over its shoulder, and then accelerate away. The Eurofighter Typhoon relies on massive thrust-to-weight ratio. It wants to fight in the vertical, dragging opponents up until they stall. The physical toll is immense. Pulling 9 Gs means the pilot weighs 9 times their body weight. Blood drains from the brain, risking GLOC. Under high G, vision narrows. The pilot must perform complex geometry calculations while fighting to stay conscious. This is the O-Day loop. Observe, orient, decide, act. The pilot who cycles through this loop faster than their opponent wins the fight. The rolling scissors is a desperate defensive maneuver. Pilots weave and roll, trying to force the attacker to overshoot and fly out in front. An overshoot is fatal. If the attacker flies past the defender, the roles reverse instantly. The hunter becomes the hunted. Modern flight control computers make it hard to spin out, but pushing a jet past its aerodynamic limits is still a high-stakes gamble.
The gun is the weapon of last resort. When missiles are gone or too close to arm, the 20mm cannon is the only thing left.
The F-35A carries an internal gun, but the B and C variants rely on external pods, which add drag and compromise stealth. Unlike the massive GAU-8 of the A-10, fighter cannons are for snapshots, split-second bursts of lead calculated. Furball is chaotic. In a multi-aircraft engagement, maintaining situational awareness is nearly impossible. Friendly fire is a constant risk. Check 6. A pilot must constantly scan behind them. Even with advanced sensors, the human eye is the final verification. AWAC controllers try to bring order to the chaos, guiding fighters to target, but in the merge, the pilot is on their own. Dogfighting is 3D chess. Pilots don't just turn left or right, they use the vertical dimension, turning combat into an egg shape. Weight is the enemy. A lighter jet turns better. Pilots may dump fuel or jettison external tanks before entering the merge to gain agility. Aerodynamic devices like slats and flaps deploy automatically to increase lift at slow speeds, keeping the wing flying during tight turns. Russian philosophy emphasizes super maneuverability. The Su-57 and Su-35 are designed to outturn anything in the sky. American philosophy emphasizes first look, first kill. The F-22 is a compromise, stealthy enough to kill from afar, agile enough to win up close. China's J-20 uses canards for aerodynamic control. While agile, large canards can compromise frontal stealth, a trade-off for maneuverability.
The French Rafale is an omni-role fighter. Its close-coupled canards give it exceptional instant turn performance, dangerous in a knife fight.
Technology changes the tools, but not the physics. You still have to manage kinetic energy against potential energy.
Artificial intelligence is entering the cockpit. AI agents have already beaten human pilots in simulated dogfights by performing maneuvers humans physically cannot handle. AI doesn't panic. It doesn't black out. It calculates the perfect firing solution with pixel-perfect accuracy every single time.
A future dogfight might be a human quarterback directing a team of robotic loyal wingmen to do the close-range fighting.
Directed energy weapons, dot lasers, are the next frontier. A laser has no flight time.
Lasers might not blow up a plane immediately, but they can blind sensors and burn through control surfaces, neutralizing the threat.
History repeats itself. In Vietnam, the US removed guns from Phantoms, thinking missiles were enough. They were wrong, and pilots paid the price.
That lesson learned is why every modern US fighter, despite the stealth and missiles, still has a gun, and pilots still train for the merge.
Logistics is part of the fight. Aircraft like the Gripen E are designed to operate from dispersed road bases to survive the initial missile barrages.
Passive detection is key. Using IRST allows a fighter to stalk an enemy without emitting radar waves that trigger warning receivers.
Terrain masking, flying low through canyons, hides fighters from ground radar, allowing them to pop up at close range for an ambush.
Every missile has a no-escape zone. If you are inside it, kinetic energy guarantees a hit. Escaping it requires forcing the missile to bleed energy.
The notch is a maneuver where a pilot flies perpendicular to the enemy radar, using the Doppler effect to disappear from their scope.
Dogfighting is an athletic event. It is wrestling with physics at 600 miles per hour. Mental endurance is just as vital as airframe durability.
The classic rivalry. The F-15 Eagle versus the Su-27 Flanker. Two heavyweights designed purely for...
The F-15's massive wing area gives it incredible lift, allowing it to sustain turns without losing altitude, dominating the vertical fight. The Su-27's blended body design allows for high alpha maneuvering, giving it an advantage in slow-speed nose pointing. Fox 3. The call that an active radar missile is away. It is fire and forget, allowing the pilot to immediately turn and defend.
Fox 2. A heat-seeking launch. These are silent killers. The enemy gets no radar warning, only a visual cue if they are looking. Their fuel management is critical. Afterburners consume fuel at an alarming rate. A pilot can run dry in minutes if they stay in full reheat.
Bingo fuel.
The point of no return. In a dogfight, you must save enough gas to get home, or you win the fight but lose the jet.
The debrief is where the learning happens. Every maneuver is analyzed. Egos are left at the door. There are no ranks in the debrief.
Aggressor squadrons fly tactics used by potential adversaries, forcing pilots to adapt to different fighting styles and capabilities.
The F-22 is often outnumbered in training, fighting 1 versus 4. The goal is to teach the pilot to manage multiple threats simultaneously.
Towed decoys trail behind the aircraft, seducing incoming missiles to explode harmlessly away from the main airframe.
Clouds are cover. Pilots use cloud layers to break line of sight, confusing heat seekers and disrupting visual tracking.
Hands-on throttle and stick to station.
Pilots control radar, weapons, and comms without ever taking their hands off the flight controls.
Data links allow a wingman to see what the leader sees. If one is blind, the other can guide a missile to the target silently.
The 6th-generation fighters may remove the vertical tail entirely for stealth, relying on drag rudders and thrust vectoring for yaw control.
Hypersonic missiles compress the reaction time. There will be no time for a dogfight if the enemy strikes from 500 miles away at Mach 5.
Yet machines don't fight wars. Humans do. The psychological pressure of the merge, the will to survive, remains the deciding factor.
Loose deuce formation. Wingmen cover each other. If the leader is engaged, the wingman is free to maneuver and take the shot. Speed is life, but it turns radius is the killer. The faster you go, the wider you turn. Slowing down at the right moment is an art form.
High angle of attack fights starve the engine of air. Intake design is critical to prevent compressor stalls during violent maneuvers.
For Navy pilots, the fight isn't over until they catch the wire. Carrier landings require immense precision after the exhaustion of combat. Sortie generation rate matters. The side that can land, rearm, refuel, and get back in the air faster, has the strategic advantage. The airspace of the future is crowded. Drones, cruise missiles, stealth fighters, and satellites all vying for control of the thin blue line.
We hope the missiles work. We hope the stealth holds. But when the systems fail, the pilot must be ready to fight the old way.
The dogfight is not dead. It has evolved. It is faster, deadlier, and more unforgiving than ever before.
Technology promises distance. Reality often forces intimacy. In the merge, there is no hiding.
As long as there are pilots in the cockpit, the knife fight will remain a possibility. And in that moment, the only thing that matters is skill.